Come on!
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I just went to see Destroyer with Nicole Kidman, and it was fucking rubbish. I hated this movie. I walked out after about an hour, 10 minutes. That was about as much as I could endure. This is not a movie that you enjoy, it's a movie that you endure, if you can endure it, which I couldn't, because it's fucking terrible. There is a point where I can't help but watch these films, certain films, and I just think, why is there no barometer in Hollywood? Why isn't somebody there proofreading screenplays and saying, no, this isn't good enough? This is absolutely ridiculous that certain things make it all the way through all of those offices, all those so-called professionals, all of those producers, until eventually somebody signs off on it and says, go ahead, here's 10, 20, 30 million dollars. Here's 20 million to hire one of the biggest actresses in the world in terms of fame anyway. Here, take all this money, go and make your fucking terrible script. Oh my god, I'm not gonna ruin anything, spoiler alert, because the whole fucking movie is a spoiler alert because it's fucking rubbish. That's what spoiled the movie. Destroy the whole fucking film. Fuck this movie. It's so, I honestly, I sit there and I just think the cinematography is bad, the script is bad, the lighting is bad, the story is boring, it's dull, it's fucking insipid. It's like being poisoned for an hour and a half. Sometimes you watch certain things and they're beautiful and they're powerful and they're thoughtful and they're intriguing and they're wonderful, and you come out a better person, a new person, you've learned something, you've experienced something, and then you get some films and it's like someone's just shoveling shit down your fucking throat, shoveling poison into your fucking brain, for just bombarding you with this kind of arid, acrid, dire stuff. I just think, fuck. I was literally sitting in the cinema thinking, who would make this kind of stuff? Like, what kind of person wants to put this into the world? Who sits there and thinks, I want to watch a film like this that's miserable and boring and bland and serious, so serious. Oh my god, could it get any more fucking serious? Why don't the whole audience just fucking kill themselves over the misery and the misery and the misery? I mean, I gave it some time. Anyway, I've got an idea. Because almost every time I see a film like this, I end up going online and seeing these people giving their own opinions, and I thought, whilst watching this film, I fucking bet you, Mark Kermode, the UK's #1 film critic, who I've actually met and had a conversation with, and he's a nice guy, but fucking hell, I disagree with him regularly. I was thinking, I'll bet you Mark Kermode likes this piece of fucking rubbish movie, okay? Because it's a little bit 70s. It's got a little bit of that serious 70s vibe in a really shit way, right? Not in a good way, not in a Foxy Brown way, not in a Taxi Driver way, but a shit way. Anyway, Mark, no hate for Mark. We had a conversation. We chatted about The Exorcist. We chatted about a film called Gone Too Far. We chatted about how we stay away from movie trailers. I like the guy. If he was a friend in school when I was a kid, I'd have loved talking to him. I'd have loved disagreeing with him, and at times I would have loved agreeing with him. But right now, I'm going to watch his review and let's see what that fucking guy says.
Destroyer is the movie. Nicole Kidman is undoubtedly the star. This is what Mark thinks.
I think Nicole Kidman is the star, but I also think that Karen Kusama, who directed it, who is a very underrated talent.
Right there. Obviously an underrated talent. Underrated talent. What talent, Mark? The script? No. The camera? No. The story? No. Have you ever seen an episode of 24? Same shit, all entertaining. They managed to make 8 seasons of entertaining television with the same sort of shit. Undercover, espionage, all really, really good and fun and exciting, right? This film is not good. It's not good. You know it's not good, Mark.
obviously made Girl Fight. Also, Jennifer's Body has a very good standing among horror fans because she's somebody who's worked in the genre. She was involved in that XX anthology.
Does Mark sound like he's telling the truth? In all seriousness, does he sound enthusiastic? Does he sound passionate? Watch his body language. I've seen Mark get enthusiastic about films and his hands go up in the air and he talks about things with great passion and great dexterity when he's genuinely into something. Right now, he does not sound like he believes what he's saying. He's saying positive things with negative body language and negative tonality.
What she has always managed to do is to balance the sort of a genre, the pulpy genre sensibility, with something which is much more character driven, much more deep. She's very, very good at having movies in which you have very interesting female leads.
In this film, there is not an interesting female lead. People will say she's got an interesting makeup job. Yeah, so fucking what, right? It's makeup. So we made Nicole Kidman look like shit. Plenty of women look like shit when they wake up, or they just fucking look like shit anyway. That doesn't make an interesting character. It doesn't make an interesting performance. It doesn't make an interesting story. I was not interested in this woman. An hour and 10 minutes in, I knew nothing more about her than I knew in the first 5 minutes. And Hollywood does this all the time. Oh, but did you see her? The makeup was so bad. Like, that must mean it's a great performance. No, it doesn't. It just means it was bad makeup on purpose. They made a beautiful person look bad. Has nothing to do with character, nothing to do with story, nothing to do with performance. It does not make it good.
In the case of this, at the very beginning of the film, I mean, you talked about when you first see Nicole Kidman in it and she's kind of waking up in her car in this stupor. Funnily enough, the thing that opening reminded me of was Blue Ruin, the Jeremy Saulnier movie about somebody whose whole life has fallen apart and they're living in their car.
I'll just add, once in a while, when it comes to film reviewers or whatever, if you're watching a shit film and something in it reminds you of a good film, it can heighten your experience a bit. You might be sitting there going, this reminds me of that film I saw once that I liked, but that film was better than this film.
And there's a story about something from the past that is resurfacing, and this is the thing that's going to kind of get them out of it. So when you first see her, she has this face that looks like it's been simultaneously drowned, sandblasted, and sun-dried. I mean, it's really extraordinary, and her eyes look translucent.
She looks at death's door.
Yeah, she looks very unwell.
And that's how I looked by the time I walked out of this fucking piece of shit.
And very early on in the film, there's a confrontation with her and some other cops. She turns up at a crime scene. And they go, for heaven's sake, you need to get yourself together. You know, what are you doing here? Why are you here? And she says very flippantly, what if I know what this is? And they go, yeah, fine. They've all basically had enough of her.
Yeah, which is a completely stupid fucking plot point. You've got a cop of like 20 years who's older and more experienced than some of these other cops, okay? And she says, what if I told you I knew who did this crime? And they're like, yeah, do you? And she walks away and no one actually inquires about it. Like, not a particularly good piece of writing, let's be fair. You would be like, honey, do you fucking know who killed this murder victim who's been shot to death? Okay, if you know, you better say something. And as soon as she leaves, we realise, yeah, she does know. Well, why would you let out that bit of information to another cop if you don't want them to know that you know? The writing is bad from the get-go.
And then, as Nicole Kidman described, then the story flip-flops back and forth between the present day.
You can hear it in Mark's voice. You can hear the lack of enthusiasm. Who fucking paid this guy off? Who the fucking hell has their cock up his arse, between his arse cheeks, ramming them up right now? Did he interview Nicole Kidman? Did he interview the director? I don't know. But fucking hell, Mark, it's so obvious that he doesn't believe what he's saying. The tone is... He can't. If he genuinely thinks the film is quite good, even quite good, there's something wrong. There's something wrong. This man should not be getting a wage to talk about a movie this bad in this positive way.
and a story in the past in which there was an undercover sting.
He sounds miserable. He sounds miserable. You know why he sounds miserable? Because somebody's paid him off to talk about this fucking rubbish movie and lie about it and say it's good and get you to waste what precious little time you might have in your life to go out to the cinema and watch this when you could watch anything else. The vast history of television, thousands upon thousands of films, many hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them that are truly worth watching, worth investing your time into, worth investing your life into. Films that are so good they're worth watching 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 times rather than watching this piece of shit once, okay? Someone's paid him off or something. At least I hope they have. At least that would be some kind of solace and redemption, because I'd feel much better knowing, he just got paid to say it was good. Thank God. Because if he really believes it's good, that's worse.
That we know something happened. We know that there is some guilt, and we slowly see that story unfolding in tandem with the modern day story in which a protagonist from that original backstory somehow appears to have resurfaced.
Some people like this thing with film reviewers where a film reviewer just tells you the fucking story of the film that you've either just watched or you haven't watched yet. I don't understand this. This is considered a mode of professionalism amongst film critics to just tell you the fucking story. I don't want to know the fucking story, okay? You don't need to be a professional to tell me what the story is. If I want to see the film, I want the film to tell me the story. All I need to know from a film critic is, was it good? If so, why? Okay, that's it. That's how I review films. It was good or it wasn't good, or it was in between. And here's why. This is why it's good. This is why it sucked. This is why it's shit, or this is why it's great. I don't want to hear 2 fucking minutes of a film reviewer telling me the fucking story. Why would I want to know that? If I haven't seen it yet, I definitely don't want you to ruin it if you're about to tell me to go and see it. And if I have just seen it, then I don't need you to tell me the fucking story because I just watched it.
Brilliant performance, incidentally, by Toby Kebbell, who is sort of snake-like and slimy, but in a way which is kind of completely believable. I really like this for a number of reasons.
No, you didn't, Mark. You didn't really like it. Fucking hell, what was there to like? What was there to like?
Firstly, because tonally, it owes a lot to those kind of...
If you're telling the truth, that ain't how you fucking tell the truth. If you like something, you like it. If you love it, you love it. And you say it, you jump for joy. You say, I love this film. It was great. I'm fucking enthused. You don't say, I like this film. If you liked it, right? I liked it. Yes, I liked it. No. Think for a second. Maybe even if you think you liked it, because it happens all the time. You get people walking out of Shakespeare plays, right? Very intelligent people who go to the theatre and they come out and yes, it was very good. Well, I enjoyed it. You know what? If that's your vibe, maybe you didn't enjoy it. Maybe it was shit, right? Not all Shakespeare is good. The writing is good, the scripts are good, the plays are good, but if the production is bad, the actors are bad, the direction is bad, they will fucking ruin Shakespeare, and you don't have to say it's good just because it's Shakespeare. And I've seen so many supposedly intelligent people walk out of rubbish productions and just think, I suppose it was good. It had a classical name attached to it, so it must be good. No. That doesn't mean it's good. You still have to do it well.
About tortured, cops and undercover and, identity and people wrestling with. I've always liked that kind of stuff. Secondly, because the story, I think, is very well told.
The story is not well told. It's not well told. Oh my God. If you know anything about cinema, you know that a great story is in the telling. It goes for any medium of storytelling, whether I'm telling it to a camera or I'm telling it to someone's face or the story is written, a great story is in the telling. If you, person sitting out there, was like, oh, okay, someone gave me this idea called Pet Cemetery, and I'm going to write it. Would it be as big a hit and as big a bestseller as Stephen King's Pet Cemetery? Probably not. Not for the majority of people watching this. Why? The story's the same. You've been given the same story. So why is yours not going to be as good as Stephen King's if the story's the same? Because a great story is in the telling. It's how it's told. This story is not well told.
The story, I think, is very well told.
Oh my God. Here's a scene. Here's a scene. So there's a scene where Nicole Kidman, who's been a fucking police officer for like 20 years, she follows this woman to a point where the woman knocks on a van, and out of the white van in broad daylight, about 7 or 8 guys get out of the van wearing masks, right, to rob a bank. And they've all got massive fucking machine guns, okay, to go and rob a bank that's directly across the street. Now, here's point number one. Normally, when like 8 people rob a bank, someone stays in the van because it's the getaway van, right? Someone waits there with the engine running in order to drive everyone away once the heist and the robbery is done with. Not in this circumstance. They all just fucking leave the van with their machine guns. Then she has a really good idea. She decides to go into the bank with a machine gun that she has in the back of her van to go up against 8 criminals who also have machine guns. I'm thinking, no one's in that van, their getaway van. Why not slash the tires so that when they come out, right, they ain't got a fucking getaway van? You'd think a policeman of 20 some years would know that. Or maybe you pop some bullets into the tires, it would make more noise, but it would still be a better idea than going up one fucking woman who's weak and looks old and she's gaunt. How the fucking hell is she supposed to go up against these hardened, weaponized criminals who have gone in there with like fucking bulletproof vests and shit, and she's just walking in with a gun and no... Oh, it's so dumb.
The story, I think, is very well told. The back and forth between the past and the present is sort of delineated not only in terms of the narrative beats, but also in terms of the way the film looks. I mean, somehow the past looks saturated and rich, and the present looks like, you know, like it's in the aftermath of some catastrophe, and the whole color scheme brilliantly, I think, echoes that.
The film looks crap. It looks ugly. The whole thing looks ugly. It's like someone puked on it.
I also think it's important that at the heart of it, there is this relationship between her character, Erin, and the daughter, Shelby, who Erin is in terrible fear that Shelby will sort of repeat the mistakes of her mother, that her mother has at some point become derailed.
I think Mark's just trying to find some good in the film here. He's searching for something good in it. Maybe there's something in this. Not really. It's just... I was watching that stuff in the cinema with the mother-daughter thinking, I just feel like I'm watching a soap opera. It's like EastEnders with American money.
And we're not entirely sure how that happened until the film sort of starts to reveal these things. But there is this palpable sense of...
There is a palpable sense of, this film's fucking rubbish, I want to leave right now.
But there is this palpable sense of, you know, wanting to make sure that the past doesn't repeat itself, wanting to make sure that something isn't handed down from mother to daughter and thence onward. And I think you get that emotional investment.
In a film that might be 2 hours, the daughter's in it for like 4 minutes or less, right? You can't put this much emphasis on that bit. She's barely in the film. Seriously, barely in it.
So that even, as you were saying, talking about playing an unsympathetic character, I mean, a character who is completely rattled.
I'm completely rattled after having endured that fucking piece of shit and this fucking piece of shit.
A character who, in the same way as Harvey Keitel's bad lieutenant, has done so many bad things and is going to actually continue to do so many bad things because they've now got... they're locked. People keep saying you need to move on. People keep saying you need to get over it, but that doesn't happen.
People are going to be telling me I need to move on and get over how bad this film is, and that's not going to happen either.
And there's almost this sense that what's happening to Erin's character in the present day is Nicole Kidman talked about it being, moving towards redemption, but that's a redemption which involves going through the pit of fire.
So it seems like he spoke to Nicole Kidman, or one of them did, and that's why he doesn't want to say, by the way, Nicole, it's terrible, man. It's really bad. It's one of the worst films ever made. It's one of the worst films I've ever seen. Fucking hell. I'd rather fucking shoot myself in the face than watch that again. I'd rather fucking shave my balls with a cheese grater than have to endure that. I'd rather get fucking twigs and force them through my arms, right? I'd rather be fucking nailed to a cross twice than have to watch even the fucking trailer for that piece of shit again, Nicole, right? He ain't saying it because she's probably sitting outside with a tin can to the wall listening in.
Because actually they all make narrative sense. I don't think any of them are gratuitous, but I think they are there to give you the sense that this character has been reduced to, to sort of base level of existence.
I felt like I was reduced to base level of existence, and I felt like I was watching a film written and directed by people who were at base level of existence. Fucking like the ooze that began the human race, right? The tiny molecular cells that hadn't yet developed brains and consciousness yet. It was like it was made by that, okay? Tiny little amoebas floating without knowledge and awareness and intelligence in a sea of nothingness. That would have been better. Wow. I mean, I'm trying to say it as an insult, but that would have been far superior to this fucking shit. But the intellect didn't seem like it was much beyond that.
That she is now functioning on a level which is exist, get the thing done, but it's almost as if she has obliterated her own sense of self.
Obliterated her own fucking career.
I went into this having been told by some people that, the Nicole Kidman performance is absolutely the best thing, but I think her performance is great. But I think the movie is much more than a great performance. I think it's a well-told story by a director who is underrated, and I think it has a sensibility that I really like, that kind of 70s nihilism, the grit.
I told you, 1970s grit. I said he would say it. I said that he'd be like, yeah, it's good, it's great. It's like those 1970s films. I fucking told you, and it's not like good 1970s films. It ain't fucking Martin Scorsese, right? It's trash. It's absolute trash.
That kind of 70s nihilism, the grit, the feeling under your fingernails.
I felt that feeling under my fingernails because watching it felt like someone had fucking spikes under my fingernails and they were wrenching them off. It was that kind of pain, except it felt like someone had their fucking fingernails in my brain, scraping those fingernails, talons going through my fucking cerebral cortex, right? My amygdala being wrenched out, being pecked upon by the empty, vacuous, vapid shell of whoever made this fucking piece of shit.
And I thought it was really good.
He didn't think it was really good. You know he didn't think it was really good. Listen to how he says it. I thought it was really good. He says it defensively as if he's been told by people, Mark, it's fucking shit. So he's like, I thought it was really good, right? But no one's told him it's shit because he's the critic. He's the number one in this country. It's him. He is the barometer. People usually estimate their own opinions often based upon his. And he's already initially, his initial reaction is, I thought it was really good. You obviously didn't, or you would just say, it's fantastic, it's magnificent, it's brilliant, it is the next Taxi Driver, go and see it. Don't go and see it.
And I thought it was really good.
I wondered whether CGI got involved in making her look thinner than she is because her clothes just hang off her.
And the way
there's nothing of her.
I think it's the clothes, and I think the way she walked.
Does this sound like a good film to you? Does it sound like a good film? Potential CGI on her clothes because her clothes just hang off her. I think it's her clothes, the way she walks, how ugly she's really been made to look so horrifically ugly, right? So if you like looking at someone who looks their absolute worst, close up, high definition fucking pores of her skin, right, 50 foot high. If you want to look at something disgusting as they could possibly make her look, if you want to look at that for 2 hours, doesn't that sound good? Doesn't that sound wonderful? Doesn't that sound like a delight? Isn't that what your heart and your soul and your spirit is just drawn to? That kind of positivity? Doesn't that sound like genius? Genius? The way her fucking clothes hang off her? Who gives a fuck? Go to some of the worst parts of London, look at the people walking around. They all fucking look like Nicole Kidman in this film. I see it on a daily basis, all the time. Edgar Wright made Shaun of the Dead, making fun of the fact that half of this fucking country has people walking around who are indistinguishable from zombies. You think that they're fucking zombies, but they're just regular people who are fucked up by life, right? It's all over the place. It does not mean you made a good film because you took a multi-millionaire beautiful celebrity and made her look like shit, right? That isn't something you want to hand over £12.50 or something to see. It's not something you want to be paid £12.50 to see, okay? It ain't worth it. It ain't worth your time.
That she looks like she's been weighed down by a ton of bricks, that somehow she's like a sort of hobbled pack horse or something, I think is really well done.
The movie's Destroyer. We have Richard E. Grant.
There you go. The movie's Destroyer. I wish somebody would destroy it. It deserves to be destroyed. God, if you're real, come down from heaven, smite those who made it, wipe it out of existence, wipe it out of the existence of my own brain. I don't want it in here. I want that experience. I want that experiment that happened in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I want to go to that place where they wipe and erase memories, and I want to say, I just went to see Destroyer with Nicole Kidman. Can you please wipe it from my memory? Whatever it costs, whatever it takes, whatever toll it's going to take on the rest of my life, I want that memory wiped. Do it now. Destroy it. It does not deserve to exist here in the beautiful plane of existence. Yeah. Well, anyway, that's my review of Destroyer, and that's my review of Mark Kermode's review of Destroyer. Fuck that film. It's rubbish. It's badly written. It's badly shot. It doesn't know what it wants to be. It's boring. It's dull. It's ugly. Just don't watch it. Watch The Simpsons. Watch The Twilight Zone. Watch The X-Files. Watch ER. Watch Taxi Driver. Watch a Quentin Tarantino film. Watch something directed by Catherine Bigelow. Okay? Watch the leaves blowing past your window. Watch the rain. Watch some strange man sitting on a pavement smoking a cigarette. Watch a kitten. Watch a dog. Watch the clouds. Watch the fucking grass. Watch your own feet. Stare at your own hands. All of it is miraculous and far more worth your while. Far more worth putting into your eyeballs and into your brain than this piece of shit movie. I know I'm being harsh. I wouldn't care if people didn't say it was good, but it's not good. So that's it. Destroyer. Destroy it. Peace. If you enjoy this format and this style, then jump in, leave some comments, maybe share the video with some friends. If you subscribe, it lets me know that you actually like it and you want to see more of it. As strange and desperate and needy as it might sound, getting a little bit of feedback from you really does make a world of difference. This channel almost fell into ruin. The whole channel just faded away for a series of months, and it was just because one person came on and commented and they said, I missed these reviews. That one person's comment made me think, oh, someone actually cares about all the work that I did. Oh, I'll do another one just for them. The very next day I had a video out. Because I'm not getting paid for this, this isn't a job, I'm not making any money out of it, so I do it just hoping that someone out there enjoys it. And when I know that you enjoy it, that is the incentive I need to continue doing it.